everyone, welcome to the Yu-Gi-Oh video on the channel. A couple days ago, I posted a video going over episode 53 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush. I'll link that in the cards if you want to go watch. And one of the comments in the videos was from a person named Debater. Thank you, Debater. I hope you don't mind your comment being up here. Now, since I'm still having technical difficulties, plus I wanted to share this with y'all, I decided to make a video to go over it. Now, this video contained quite a bit of spoilers for the show, at least up to episode 53, so if you don't want that, I suggest you turn off this video now and come back after you've watched Go Rush. Please also note that I'll be going over the sub as I have not watched the dub for this show. And now, let's jump into going over that comment. For those of you who didn't see it, here it is. According to Yuna, the data used for these maximum cards wasn't taken from Yuga's research at Goha, which means that he wasn't responsible for their creation here. Without further info that limits it to the only other person we've seen who's known a Rush Duel since before the recreation in this timeline. Combined with a complex anti-Karatamata weapon deployed in the last episode, and the use of the relic, which we last know was seen in a certain individual's possession, to turn Yuga into a card, I'm usually not the type to make theories based off such limited evidence, but it seems as though the creator of Velgiar is putting a finger on the scales here. If you didn't know, I refer to the creator as Otis because I'm pretty sure it's him. And yes, I do agree that Otis is interfering here. However, that doesn't mean he's responsible for everything. Remember, some of the characters that were sent back to Earth are locked up or missing. I personally believe that Manabu, Ranran, and Yandastar are locked up somewhere in MIK headquarters, and Mitsugo is shown to be in prison as well. During the 2 years, the MIK could have forced Manabu and Yandastar to spill what they heard during the battle against Zuijo. That could be where they got the information about Belgiarians being Karatamata so they can make the beam. I doubt the MIK would have been able to test it though, so either the MIK has captured a Belgiarian that we don't know about yet, or Otis gave him the weapon after the MIK tracked him down or something. Now, regarding Phaser's Maximum, I'd like to propose an alternate theory for that as well. We know that Yuga-chan and Goha were not responsible for its creation, but if you remember, Yuga-chan didn't seem too surprised to see it. In fact, he hardly seemed surprised at all. It's as if he knew that Maxims had already been recreated. I'd like to take you back to Sevens for a minute. Remember the character who first created Maximums? Nail was the genius who came up with the idea and added the code for Maximums. He was able to add it thanks to Yuga-chan leaving an unfinished portion of the code. What if, when he was forced to create Rush Duels in this time period, Yuga-chan did the same thing here? He left part of it unfinished, so when Phaser created his maximum, he was able to slide easily into the code. Yes, I do believe that Phaser, or at least the MIK, created the new maximum. If Phaser came up with the idea of maximums, then remember, they took over the entire town, including the card manufacturing machines, so they'd be able to make the cards themselves. Also, Phaser is almost certainly capable of doing something like this. He seems a lot like Nail, swapping out the Providence thing for the hating aliens thing. And while we can't definitively say that Phaser is a genius, we don't know anything to contradict that, and he definitely seems smart enough to me. Or think about this. Yuga-chan and all the aces of his friends on him when he went into the hyperspace at the end of Sevens. We know that he still has them in Go Rush, because during his duel against Damamu, we see some of them in his deck. What if Phaser stole the Yggdrago cards from Yuga-chan, and that's how he knew Maximum was a thing? That's certainly something to think about, huh? As for the creation itself, in Sevens, creating a Maximum took 3 ID cards. I don't know how Maximums would be created in Go Rush. Maybe they can just be created as regular cards. Yuga-chan and Nail didn't have access to card making machines, so we don't know that. Because I don't think they have Go Rush ID cards. I hadn't really thought about it, but then I heard something on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything channel. They mentioned the ID cards probably not being in Go Rush, and I realized that they were probably right. After all, if everyone needs ID cards to duel, how are these aliens in the middle of space getting them? Aliens that come to Earth getting ID cards would be one thing, but the Belgiarian Wars ended thanks to Rush Duels, and the other aliens would definitely not have been able to get ID cards. Anyway, the bottom line is, I'm pretty sure ID cards are not in Go Rush. So, let's recap. Otis is definitely interfering. He carded Yuga-chan and probably gave the anti-Karatamata weapons to the MIK, who assumingly forced the prisoners to tell them about the Karatamata stuff before that. Phaser and the MIK most likely created Abyss Dragon, and Tremolo will most likely also have a maximum. So that wraps it up. Please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Have a great day everyone, and I'll see you next time for another Yu-Gi-Oh video.